Right, on this steamy night, we're live. So, evening, everyone.
Evening, everyone.
Right, Linda's got a little thing she's going to say beforehand.
Oh,
if she's getting finished.
So, levitating beds, demonic dolls. For decades, Ed and Lorraine Warren convinced the world they were fighting hell. But before the fame, Ed was just a guy with a sketchbook, painting spooky houses to get inside. This is why I've chose the name Ed's Sketchy Sketches for tonight. This is where we're going to look at some of the most famous hauntings, made famous by Hollywood, of course, and erase the fiction. To keep the lawyers happy, everything we say tonight here is purely our own opinion based on our own research. But honestly, in our opinion, a lot of these demons were just creaky floorboards, creative writing, and clever marketing. Please hit subscribe, like the video, and share to anybody you think would like the topic. Yeah. And that's my intro.
Right, I'm guessing that's Cole and Perry that are there waiting for us. So, right, I think as Ian skived the last time, I think we'll start with Ian.
Mm-hmm.
He was unfortunate enough to have to bloody work.
I don't think skive is quite the word. Yes. Ed and Lorraine. Were they the real thing?
Here we go.
As we said, this is all conjecture on our part and all opinion. We've no idea whether what we're saying is the truth or not. But they are famous, some say for all the wrong reasons, for the number of horror stories, horror films, horror books, and their work in bringing those to the fore. In some respects, I'm a skeptic as to whether it is all so much hogwash. Namely because having worked in the field, or I say work, bloody hell, having dabbled in the field and having seen the number of people who are on trying to claim what everything is paranormal. Oh, look, there's an orb. Oh, look, there's a ghost. It's pareidolia. It's a bloody dust mite. I wouldn't like to say that everything they did was a load of bollocks. I think when they first started out, I do believe that Lorraine had a psychic ability. Whether Ed had, from the few interviews I have seen with him, he claimed to be a demonologist. But I can claim to be the next Pope. Doesn't mean I am. And I've got as much chance as he has because I am Catholic.
Yeah, true. And so would I, actually.
So, on the other way I look at it, and I'm going to play devil's advocate in a bit for the part tonight, at least. In that, if you look at the time that they were around and when they started and everything, who would be the most likely to try and crush them and put them out of business?
Well, the church, wouldn't it?
The church.
But that's the thing about them, though. They said that they worked closely with the church.
They said
that they had a set amount of exorcists that they worked with regularly, and they always refused to give names.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't got names, you're hardly going to be able to give any, are you? And seeing as how, I mean, the Catholic Church is the one I know more about as far as exorcisms are concerned.
Yeah.
But the Catholic Church poo-poos the idea and for donkey's years refused to even acknowledge that they had exorcists.
The weird thing about that is, though, from doing my research about it, they really seemed to have into the forefront and into everyone's living room, for want of a better word, in about 1970. And around 1970, if you research it, exorcisms were on the increase, not the decrease.
Yeah, but the church was still knocking them back.
Mm.
The church was still denying that exorcism and demons and everything existed. It was only because the public became more aware of things that were going on. I mean, if you look at paranormal, it took off around the 70s to a massive degree, especially given that there was so much more media available. Television, horror films, things like that took people's interest. You look at the simple things like Hammer House of Horrors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It certainly raised everyone's awareness of paranormal and ghosts. So,
that's true.
I think they rode the crest of the wave. And for myself, I believe that it's, like I said, they might have started off with good intentions. I think they became caught up in their own success. And it became a money thing.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I don't know.
But if you look at some of the people who started off with the name calling and that, some of them are people like the Amityville. They had a book deal with, I forget, Felix, one or other. Felix Weber or something like that.
Something like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Certainly Weber, anyway. But there was a book deal that went pear-shaped. All of a sudden, he's claiming it's all a hoax, it's all bullshit. Because he didn't get his cut of the however many tens of thousands of pounds.
One of the things I saw was a conversation and 2 bottles of wine is how Amityville was invented.
Yeah. The same thing happened with Defoe. There's a interview with him that is actually available on whether it is now, but it's available on YouTube. And he said he was actually took part in creating the story for that, and he'd been promised £20,000, and the Warrens didn't give him a penny.
Yeah, again. You could claim what you like. I could claim, like I say, I could claim I'm the next Pope. Prove me wrong.
Also with, I think it's the Kundrin, the Snedeker family, I think it was, or one of them. Ed and Lorraine actually got a book out of it. The family were told they were going to be made rich and famous from the story. They got something like $2,500. The Warrens made $40,000 on the book.
Yeah,
they reneged on the deal. And from research, they had a tendency to do that quite regularly.
Oh yeah, like I say, I don't deny that there were chances in that respect.
He's always struck me as what the Americans call a carny.
Yes. To be honest with you, that was a word that I heard very regularly.
Yeah,
I must have watched.
He's definitely a showman. How he was always self-advertising, his choice of language when he's in interviews and presenting, trying to get in to a building and presenting the information that they have got or may have invented. He is absolutely a showman. I mean, I'm not saying that's bad.
They actually started out as paranormal investigators, didn't they? They would.
They started out as painters, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like Linda said, they'd go round and actually paint haunted houses.
Yeah,
like
and
a
then they'd
portrait.
knock on the
And
doors.
use that as a way to get in, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that to me sounds like a bit of a scam in itself.
Yeah.
Really.
But it's no different to people now flying over homes in helicopters taking photos and then going right saying that I've got photo of your house from above.
Yeah.
Like I said, whether they were actual as bad as they were made out to be, they were very, very shrewd. It made them a hell of a lot of money. And I think a lot of people resent that. Hence a lot of the stuff that's coming out.
Just the same as the witch trials, it all comes out of jealousy.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think she knew how to manage money well. She knew how to hold on to it.
Yes.
I think he was, as much as he always comes across to me as the controlling one, I do believe she was able to control the finances to a point, not completely, but to a point. But I think ultimate control in that partnership was him.
Well, it was in those days.
Read into that whatever you want, both positive and negative, because I get the negative side coming off of him every time I see him in an interview.
Yeah, you do, but we're looking at it from, with the best will in the world, we're looking at it from our perspective now.
Yep.
Yeah.
In those days, that was the way it was. The man ruled the roost.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't for a second believe that she was as under the thumb as people make out.
Oh, no, I don't think she was.
No.
And
she knew exactly what she was doing. All right, she might get a slap every now and again. And I don't mean that in any way that I'm a misogynist and think women should be. But that was their life.
She comes across as like the old school ladies that did genuinely have lives like that. And yet, technically, nowadays, we would think of them as victim. However, the awful treatment they received is often what nurtured their stubbornness to hold things together. And that's what made a lot of them very, very strong women emotionally.
Yes.
I think she's one of them.
One thing we briefly mentioned before we actually came on live was about Judy Penny, the young girl. We'll possibly go into that. We've got to be very careful where we talk about that situation because it's all conjecture.
Well, Lorraine was only 16 when she met him.
Yeah. With the Judith Penny situation, though, she was 15 and Ed was in his 30s when she moved in. And it's alleged, and of course these are only alleged because we weren't there, we don't know.
No.
Hi, Joanne. It is alleged.
Hi, Joanne.
It is alleged that Penny said that on a regular basis, she would see Ed beat Lorraine to the point of unconsciousness.
Again. Speaking as devil's advocate, and like I said, this is only my opinion. Why did she move in?
Yeah.
When she was 15? Was she moved in as a help for Lorraine? Was she moved in for
the maid of all work?
The maid, yeah.
Yeah.
She stayed with them for 40 years.
Yeah, she stayed with them for 4 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She stayed with them for 40 odd years.
I do
Why
believe
would you, if life was that bad, as she's alleged to have made out, why would you stay there? I can understand as a kid.
Yeah. Well, from the research I've done, and like Linda said with her opening thing, a lot of it is conjecture, it's hearsay. Whether it's true or not, we don't know, but allegedly she claims that she moved in because her and Ed were having a sexual relationship.
Again, I've been having a sexual relationship with the Queen for the last 30 years.
That'd be
I just
interesting for the last.
No, she's dead. I can say it. Prove me wrong.
That's the only
Yeah.
thing about that situation that makes me wonder, because Ed had long been dead. Lorraine was, unless she had an NDA, or whatever they're called. It didn't come out until after they were both dead. All of this. Oh, well, actually, no. When did Lorraine die? Trying to think what year Lorraine died. My computer's too slow. Too slow to look it up.
Yeah.
Wonder if my phone will. Sorry, I forgot to write it down.
Hang on. Let's see what we get.
Yeah.
2019, 18th of April, she died.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah.
And he died 2006, it says, but I thought he died before her. Well, yeah,
He did.
2006.
He did.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's been a long day. My brain's melted with the heat.
Now, Lorraine died in 2019, and so Lorraine was alive when Judy started making these claims.
13 years after he died. So,
because if I remember rightly from my research today, Judy started talking about it in 2017 about the things that happened.
yeah.
So Lorraine died
again. I don't know Lorraine's leading up to her death. Or was she fully compos mentis? Was she?
Yeah.
92, possibly. It's hard to say, really, isn't it?
I know a few folk that spoke to her in the last 6 months of her life, and she was her usual self, but a little bit slower in finding words, is what I was told.
At 92, though, you are going to be a lot slower.
Yeah.
So, right. One, I was going to.
With the money she had and everything else, is she going to bother to take the time to try and debunk it?
Yeah, exactly.
They may well have had a sexual relationship. But
well, allegedly.
Was it when she was 15? One of the worst ways you can put anyone down is to call them a paedophile.
Yep.
Again, you don't need any proof. You just need to claim they're a paedophile. I had an affair with him when I was 13, 15, 18, as a kid.
Yeah.
And no matter what you say, if you deny it, you're a liar. And such is the media, social media these days. Someone's only got to say it, and it's true.
The headlines do.
Yeah. And the more you say it, as we found out with bloody Labour, whether it's a lie or not, the more you say it, the truer it becomes, and the more people believe it.
Yeah.
And there's enough said about the Warrens for people. Oh yeah, I can well believe that.
Yeah.
Like I say, I'm playing devil's advocate to a degree because I don't know enough about them. I know the controversy behind them and everything, but they can't have been all bad. Yes, they made an awful lot of money out of it, but so did other people. A lot of the issues are people who were bitter because they didn't get what they believe was their chunk.
I just briefly looked it up. There is no official record, but it's believed at the time of her death, Elaine Warren was worth around about $10 million.
Yeah.
But there is no official. There's no official a thing out there saying what it is, but it's estimated around about $10 million. And a lot of that would probably, I'd have thought, come from the Conjuring films.
How many books did they write?
Yeah.
About 15, I think there was, weren't there? Or something like that. So they made a lot of money. They made a lot of money out of people's hardship with them books.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to move my fan a little. My fan's only a foot and a half away, but it's so hot in here, I need to move it again a bit closer. The heat in here is unbearable. But I've got the Vivs warming up the flat. Right, the first one I'm going to go with is this young lady. The Annabelle doll.
Yes.
So those that know or don't know, basically, there was a nurse and her roommate. They was given a doll. Apparently, there was a spirit there. They said the spirit could live in the doll. Blah 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 blah. I'm not going to go into it because everyone knows the story if you've seen the films or if you've looked up about them. Now, the interesting thing about this is supposedly the boyfriend of one of the nurses threw the doll out. One thing after another happened, and because of the doll, supposedly he got killed in a car crash. If you research it, the time period when the boyfriend died in the car crash, nobody died in a car crash within like a month or two period of that. So the boyfriend that died in the car crash, there's no record of him actually existing or even dying. And they've always refused. Excuse me. They've always refused to say the names of the nurses that were involved. Now, that to a degree, perfectly fine. I understand that. If you've got that supposed situation going on with a haunted doll or severe poltergeist activity, you may not want your name put out there, which is fair enough. The boyfriend's name has been put out there, and if you research him, you cannot find a single record of him. Apparently, there's no record of his birth, there's no record of his death, there's no record of a car crash, and there's no record of anyone living in that house by the names that are used. Now, the interesting thing that I didn't know this, only found this out today, but it's this. The living doll from the Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the main character of that is a mother called Annabelle. And the whole point of it is she has a doll that she gives to her daughter that has a spirit in it. And the man in the story gets killed in a car crash.
And when did that come out?
7 years before the Annabelle story. Someone's either got a squeaky leg or there's a seagull nearby.
It's the seagulls, because the idiots who live near me are putting the remnants of their supper outside to feed the birds.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the cows are all going nuts.
Yeah, I bet they are. But if I wonder if I can get a synopsis up of it. It's an episode of The Twilight Zone. Right, let me quickly get it up. Twilight Zone.
But it's that mirrors what we've said in the past about stories that branch out and are adopted across the world, and
Yeah.
someone's seen an opportunity, and all of a sudden the Annabelle doll, and there's a lot behind it. And again, is that good marketing?
That story is also used as the basis for Chucky and the Child's Play. Right, the synopsis for The Living Doll is Annabelle buys her young daughter, Christy, a talking lifelike doll named Talkie Tina. Eric, an abrasive and bitter stepfather, is immediately hostile to the purchase and resents the child. Very similar. Waltina speaks sweet, loving phrases to Christina, a demeanor. Sorry, let me put my glasses on. Waltina speaks sweet, loving phrases to Christina. Her demeanor entirely changes when alone with Eric, frequently warning him, "My name is Talkie Tina, and I'm going to kill you." Escalation. Eric attempts to destroy and discard the the invulnerable doll by throwing her in a trash can with a heavy brick, but the supernatural toy repeatedly returns. Climax: Annabelle, tired of Eric's cruelty, packs her bags to leave him. Desperate to save himself, Eric runs downstairs to retrieve Tina, but he trips with the doll and falls to his death. All right, so okay, so there's, but it's basically the same story. It's basically the same story. So, and to be honest with you, I've always had my doubts on the Annabelle story. I've always had my doubts on that. You know, I'm not really one to believe in haunted items. I've been out and over the years I've brought so-called haunted items off of eBay and like things like that. You know, Dibbert boxes and things like that.
Yeah, but everybody knows that's just a way of getting a hiked up price for some junk out of your loft.
Yeah. I think the last
You
one.
put it up. You put it up for $5. Nobody wants it. You list it as being haunted and put it as £1. You'll probably end up getting 300 quid for it.
Yeah. Genuine, not haunted.
Yeah, last time I brought one was when I was in Lacey, just before I moved here. I bought a doll that's supposedly Victorian, China doll, blah, 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 haunted, this happens, that happens, nothing negative, all nice. Didn't get anything from it. I thought, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I've just spent, I can't remember how much, I think it's about 60 or 70 quid I think I paid for it. I thought I'd pay this money on it. With the kids coming in and out of the house and them obviously having ADHD things, they go hyper, save it getting broken, I'm going to get it valued. I took it to an antique store and the bloke went, you're lucky if that's 10 years old.
Yeah.
So, but
I love the Antiques Roadshow for that.
Oh, yeah.
They turn up and and it came down from me granny and it's we've been told it's a genuine Van Gogh.
Yeah.
And it might come off the back of the van, but it certainly isn't a Van Gogh. It's worth about £3.50.
Yeah. Mind you, there was one there a few years ago. Some woman bought some pepper pots, and they were like one of these famous brand. I can't think of the name of it, a famous brand, and they were worth something like £20,000, and she'd only paid about 50 or 60p in a charity shop for them. So
there was one recently with a woman with some jewellery. And he says, I would put he said, this is what it is. He says, and I'd quite happily say it's 16 to, but she thought he was going to say 16 to 1800, 16 to 18 grand.
Yeah.
And her face was just pure delight.
Yeah.
She just like total shock and
how many of them are
you could almost see
how many of them are either at an auction or cash converters the following day?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
I wouldn't bother with cash converters. They tend to only give you 10% of what they're going to sell it at.
Yeah.
I used to work in one, so I know the formula.
Yeah.
I had a friend that worked in the CEX shop with all the computer games and things, and they said they'll buy the stuff, and then when they put it up for sale, they get anything up 4,000% profit on an item.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I don't ever buy a CEX. So right,
that's why I don't like a lot of these antique ones on the TV. You go around and say, oh yeah, I'll take this off your hands. And there's one in particular. I'm not going to say his name, but whenever the telly's on, he comes on, I turn it off. Because he'll turn to the camera and say, oh yeah, he says, I know I can get at least $5 grand for this. Or I'll give you 300. I'm going to have to do a lot of work for it and take it back, give it a polish and knock it out for $5 grand. They have no idea how much this is worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all guesswork, isn't it? Right, so we'll go with Linda.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm gonna go. I've got to find that image I was looking for. because I couldn't get one that was downloading properly for me to put in the chat.
I think it's the heat. My laptop don't seem to like this heat.
Yeah, all the computers at work have been on a go slow today, and I'm completely on a go slow because my brain's just going.
It's 25 to 9, and it's still 75.7 degrees outside here. It's still quite warm.
So let's see if this has worked. This is the one I'm going to go with.
Oh, yeah.
Here are some other images associated with that story.
Yeah. I'm going to let Linda do this because I was going to mention this.
Yes.
And a comedy one at the end. So
I love that. Send that to me because I wouldn't mind that on a t-shirt. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. For those that aren't, I know we do have some viewers that aren't horror movie fans and things. So some of the viewers aren't going to know anything much about these buildings or these stories because they're not movie fans and they're not horror fans. So
it's such a well-documented case, though.
Yeah. This is the Amityville Horror, Ed and Lorraine Warren's most infamous case that arguably paved the way for the Conjuring series. The family photo is the DeFeo children. In the back row, you have John, Allison, and Mark. In the front row, you have Dawn and Ronald Jr. Ronald Jr. becomes an important figure in this story. So, the Amityville Horror isn't part of the Conjuring franchise, and the famous 1979 movie premiered decades before the first Conjuring movie ever came out, but the case was mentioned in the first Conjuring movie, and for good reason. It might be the Warrens' most infamous case that they investigated. The sensational details behind it proved that the cases the Warrens examined were practically made for the silver screen. However, the Amityville haunting is also the one that's most widely believed to be a hoax. It all started thanks to a brutal murder on November 13th, 1974, when in the quiet town of Amityville, New York, it was rocked by a shockingly violent crime. 23-year-old Ronald DeFeo Jr., the one with the beard, took a rifle and murdered his parents and 4 younger siblings at their home at 112 Ocean Avenue. DeFeo initially claimed that the mob had targeted his family, but before long he confessed to the killings. In 1975, he was convicted of 6 counts of second-degree murder and sentenced to 6 consecutive sentences of 25 years to life in prison. Despite his lawyer's attempts to claim that DeFeo was insane and turned to murder because of the demonic voices in his head. Just months after the killings, George Lutz and his wife Kathy purchased the DeFeo's home and moved in with their 3 children. Eager for a fresh start, they only lasted 28 days in the home before they decided to flee. Shortly afterward, they publicly claimed that the home was plagued by terrifying paranormal forces. They described doors slamming shut on their own, green slime oozing down walls, and a pig-like creature with glowing red eyes lurking outside the windows, including
Mr.
the window
Howdy.
Second floor.
Captain Howdy.
It was
I didn't realise that DeFeo only died 5 years ago.
Yep.
Oh.
It was the ever-looming presence of something violent and oppressive, they said, that made them flee the home. The alleged haunting was reported on nationally and eventually caught the attention of Ed and Lorraine Warren, who at this point were lesser known figures at the time. When they visited the house, Lorraine claimed to sense the spirits of the murdered DeFeo children and reported powerful visions inside the house. The Warrens asserted, there he goes. The Warrens asserted that a practitioner of black magic had once conducted rituals on the land and was buried there, and that Shinnecock Native Americans had treated the sick and mentally ill on the property before that, despite no historical evidence to support these claims. Regardless, the sensational claims and the home's dark history united to help spread a story of tragedy and haunting, spawning books, TV shows, and film retellings of the supposedly paranormal events. Still, the original story the Lutzes told was shaky at best. George Lutz, who was reportedly struggling financially at the time, stood to benefit from the media frenzy surrounding the case. And crucially, no one else who occupied the home after the Lutz ever reported a single paranormal experience inside it. Furthermore,
that's what I find interesting. That's what I find interesting. I said in chat earlier, I was watching the interview with Ed and Lorraine's grandson.
mm-hmm.
Because if you look online, it says their daughter never had a child, but she did. No, so I'm going to carry on. I'll go back to that bit in a minute.
Furthermore, George's stepson, Christopher Carantino with a Q, not Tarantino, later alleged that many of the events were exaggerated by George himself. William Weber, the defense attorney for Ronald DeFeo Jr., also came forward with allegations. He and George Lutz had concocted details of Jay Anson's book, The Amityville Horror, over drinks, with the aim of selling a scary story. Notably, similar accusations have been levied at the Warrens throughout the years. Ray Garton, who co-wrote The Warrens in a Dark Place in 1992, recalled Ed once telling him, "Everybody who comes to us is crazy. Otherwise, why would they come to us? You've got some of the story. Just use what works and make the rest up and make it scary."
Yep.
This, paired with other disturbing allegations about the Warrens' abuse of a girl named Judith Penny, casts a dark shadow over their legacy, especially when Warner Brothers produced films portray them in such a positive light. The Conjuring series has had its ups and downs, but it's important to keep in mind that the movies, while partly inspired by true events, are works of fiction. In fact, based on the Warrens' controversial history and apparent willingness to fabricate at least some of their cases, it might be fair to say their own stories were only based on true events and nothing more. One final thing to add on a personal thing.
Yeah.
Andrea, the oldest child from what is now known as the Conjuring House, is on my Facebook. And before she got very poorly, we had a conversation. The stuff that is portrayed in the Conjuring movie is not actually as scary as some of the stuff that they witnessed as children. And one of the scariest things they witnessed was the Warrens forcing an alleged exorcism on their mother, and their mother flying 15 feet across the room and smacking her head in the wall.
One thing I found out in my research on that, during that exorcism, Ed was being a little bit too hands-on. And apparently the mother's husband actually punched him in the face.
Yes, he did. Andrea told us about that as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard.
She didn't like, because she was the oldest child, she didn't like the fact that the kids were all being told to stay out of the room.
Mm.
And she was the oldest child, and being the oldest child myself, you always want to defend your parents.
Yeah.
When you're of that age. And so she was peeping round the doorway. That's how she saw what happened. She was keeping the others out of the way, but she was peeping round the doorway and she saw what happened. And yes, he was being rather familiar.
Yeah, and apparently the husband nearly knocked him out. So,
yeah. He did. Apparently he stumbled back about 5-6 feet after the impact.
Mm. Yeah. Now, the Devil Made Me Do It case.
Okay.
With that, the little boy that was initially supposedly possessed, when the Warrens went there and they was talking about the case, they would always make sure that the boy was in the room at the time. If the boy wasn't in the room, they would make small talk until he entered the room, and then once he entered the room, they would then start talking about the activity. And Ed would say, well, if there was a demon involved, it would do this, and the body would be flying around, and you'd be flailing your arms, and you'd be saying these words and that words. And then the following day, what Ed had been talking about, the boy would display.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the other little bits on the Amityville one was when they reported hoof prints in the snow surrounding the house.
It wasn't even snowing.
There had been no snow for weeks.
Yeah.
There was no snow on the ground on the night that they claimed to see the hoof prints, checked via local weather records. And again, subsequent owners have lived there for decades with zero incidents, except for shooing away tourists and folk who want to take photos.
It's actually apparently now it's come to the point that they've done so much work to the house, you wouldn't even recognise it anymore.
Well, they changed the address as well, didn't they?
Yes. I think Joe mentioned that once before, didn't
they? They actually changed the address to keep it out.
See, now, as I was saying in chat, I'd been watching an interview with Ed and Lorraine's grandson. And in that interview, he said, people are regularly getting activity there and it changes hands every few years. But if you look into it, the current owners have lived there for about 18 years.
Yeah.
He reckons that families don't last more than a year. Well, he's out by a factor of 18.
Yeah.
So
but again, why let the truth get in the way of a good story?
Yeah, but even in the interview,
if it's bringing money in for the people involved, like we said, with that, it's you're getting money coming in. It's only when you get cut out of it, that you end up throwing shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Jay Hansen was the journalist who the Lutz actually approached first to write the book, to put the story into a book. They approached him after falling out with their first choice, who was William Webber. The Lutz family and Webber party ways after failing to decide how to split the book's profits. According to Webber, he and the Lutz family orchestrated the whole story for profit.
Well, apparently on his deathbed, George Lutz said that he was in a lot of debt with a lot of very, how did Joe put it? Linda and Joe put it a few weeks ago. Violin carrying cases.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah.
And they literally couldn't afford it, and they thought it was just a way of getting out. He admitted on his deathbed that it was all faked. Yet there is a documentary on, I can't remember if it was on Prime or on YouTube, but one of their sons, I think his name Daniel, I think. Even today, he's still going around saying about, oh yes, it run blood out the walls, and this happened and that happened, and yet in the documentary, the documentarian even states the fact that he's in a lot of debt with the wrong type of people for gambling. He's an alcoholic and he has drug problems, allegedly. Obviously, I don't know because I don't know the guy. This is only what, as Linda said at the start, we're only saying what we've researched and we found. And that's one of the things I found.
And of course, it's all framed by our own opinions as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do have to say we're not saying any of this is factual. This is just what we've found and our own opinions on the topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, again, you're going to get people, oh yeah, it was, how old was he at the time when it was all going off?
7, I think. If I
Yeah.
rightly.
Very, very suggestive age.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been told all your life, this is what's happened. It's going to, and if you've got addiction issues, you're going to start remembering things that didn't actually happen that way.
Yeah. Oh, it's like with the Doris Bither case, The Entity. Absolutely fantastic film. Really interesting story. But what a lot of them don't tell you is she had quite a severe alcohol and drug problem around the time.
Yeah, but they're not going to tell you that because it decries from the story.
Narrative.
Yeah, it doesn't fit the narrative. And as we've said in the past, you look at all these ghost programs. Oh, this happened. The number of demons there are in the world. Jesus, I'm surprised we're not all there.
Yeah.
We've all been on investigations where I've been sat there for 3, 4, 5 hours, all-nighters, and nothing whatsoever has happened yet. In every single episode,
absolutely nothing.
Something happened. But no one's decrying them as, oh yeah, it's all made up. The Warrens made an awful lot of money out of it, and so did an awful lot of people.
It's like I spent 9 hours in a 1700s haunted jail, all alone. Yes, I got activity, but if you add all the little incidents of activity in those 9 hours, I was there to sleep. I wasn't there to investigate. Yeah. But in all those 9 hours, the few crazy bits of activity I got, you could probably add it all up to about 25 minutes maximum.
Yeah.
And that's 9 hours.
Yeah, they're getting hour-long programs every time they go out. And then they wonder why there's disclaimers on the thing saying
entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only. But oh no, these are genuine. These are definite. They might be. There might be some truth in what they say.
Yeah. Well, from what
it's like even readings. When I do readings online, I have to say, look, for legal purposes, readings are for entertainment only. Because we don't know what's true. No. We can only say what the cards are telling us or what the spirit's telling us if you're doing mediumship. And you don't know what's true, what's false, and you can't be guaranteed what the customer actually says is true.
No, exactly. But by the same score, what you're saying is what you believe to be true.
Yeah.
There's so many skeptics out there. I've got mates who don't believe in it. Don't believe in the paranormal whatsoever. And a ghost could walk, their own mother could walk up to them. Yeah. And they wouldn't believe it was paranormal.
Yeah.
There's a perfectly good explanation for it. Yeah, there is. There might be a perfectly good explanation for spirit and ghosts. We just don't know what it is. But it doesn't mean they don't exist.
Well, I think the perfectly reasonable explanation for them is Einstein's one. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can be changed, but it cannot be created or destroyed. So where does that energy go and what does it do? That's where the question marks are.
Well, exactly. You can't destroy energy. That's a well-known fact.
Yeah. But it's like I was saying in one of our previous, I can't remember what topic we was doing, but they'd done an experiment. Supposedly, they had two groups of people, believers and non-believers. They had a building. They sent the believers in there, saying it was haunted. This happened, that happened, and the believers went in there and said, "Yes, what you were saying about the place exactly happened. I heard this voice. I heard that noise." They said to the non-believers, it happened. The non-believers went in there and sat in there for an hour, absolutely nothing.
That's like one of the ones
So is it a case that if you're a believer, you're going to pick something up, or is it that you're going to want to pick something up? So
it's auto-suggestion.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Some people are more susceptible to it. It's like hypnosis. Some people are more.
Yeah.
Darren Brown did one where he had half the group like, right, we're going to have a wander around this abandoned building. Tell me if you notice anything.
Yeah.
One half the group, not a lot. The odd little flickery light, nothing much. That could all be put down to aging building, no maintenance. The other group was told this backstory about this person who died on duty in the building and how his life was and yada, yada, yada. And every single one of them had EVPs or experiences or, saw, heard, felt something.
And also, before I say, those that are watching, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe because we're trying to get to the 200 mark and we're on 164 now. So, but yeah, Mythbusters even done a very similar thing. They had an abandoned, I think it was an old abandoned place, like the Camp Crystal Lake type of thing. Where and supposedly they had a group of, I think it was 10 people, 5 believers, 5 non-believers. They sat them in a room. They pumped in whatever hertz, I think it was 15 hertz sound. Those that believed claimed that they had felt being touched and hearing things and seeing things. Those that didn't believe didn't get anything.
There was one as well where they moved them between chalets.
Yes, there's that one. Yeah.
Yeah, and told them one of these chalets has got something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and they moved them between them, and there's only 2 that actually out of 10 people who picked the same chalet.
It's like, for those that don't know, I'm a freaky person. I can see and hear people that other people can't, right? Always have been. I thought it was normal till I went to school. However, what I'm going to say is what keeps me with one foot in the science camp. In all the weird stuff I do, I always have one foot in the science camp. Because I've had several MRIs in my life. Now, we know MRIs are huge magnetic fields, right? So it's EMF on steroids. You are in a tiny confined space. There's literally about half an inch from your nose to the wall of the thing. So it's not physically impossible. But if you're a person like me who can see and hear other people, it totally feels like there's someone in there with you. It triggers the same sensations as when a spirit's trying to talk to you. And I am entirely sure it's just the magnetic field messing with your brain waves, because my one foot in the science camp, because even if somebody did die in an MRI scanner, they won't have been conscious. So they won't have known they were in there and they won't be haunting the MRI. That I'm entirely sure it's just the magnetic fields. With the TV shops nowadays, with all the LCD TVs, if I go to the back of the store where all the LCD TVs are, I get the same sensation. It's like there's
Yep.
5 people stood around you trying to talk to you all at the same time, and it's just the magnetic fields that are being given off from
the energies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I said, though, you can't destroy energy, so it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah. But it's just,
We know
this
now what a
demonstrates
lot
the
of
point
things
that a
are,
strong-
but if you go back 100 years, you go back 1,500 years, and brought someone here now from that era,
they'd be tortured with the sound.
they'd be
and the
tortured because they
sensation.
wouldn't have a clue, and it would be. It's
I also
out
think
perceptive. As science builds on, it will introduce and bring a lot more forward.
I think this is also why a lot of sacred sites, pre-Christian sacred sites, have lodestone, granite, and sandstone. Because, well, number one, we know granite is radioactive.
Yeah.
Sorry, folk of Aberdeen, your entire city is radioactive, but granite is radioactive. We all know sandstone, granite, and quartz and selenite can reproduce and magnify electromagnetic fields, or even just the electric field, or just the magnetic.
Yep.
They can magnify it all. They use it in modern technology. They used to use it in cassette tapes. They use it in CDs.
Watches.
Yeah.
We know this already. So we shouldn't be surprised if we're in an area that has granite, sandstone, quartz, whatever, that we're going to notice stuff. And I think that's why in every stone circle or every sacred space, pre-Christian sacred space, there is one of these types of stone, because back in those days when there isn't all the electronics to give you this sensation, you would have really noticed the sensation coming from that particular stone.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. As technology moves on, as we become more aware of the world and the things around us, it's like cats and dogs and sit and watch a corner.
Yep.
They're seeing a totally different light perspective than we do.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that they can't see what we can't see. They can sit there and see what we can't see.
Yep.
And it could be that there's a spirit there.
Yeah, it could well be
that it's absolutely nothing. There's just where the
Or
lights.
it could just be like a damp patch or something behind your decor, and there, because they use a different spectrum, they can see it and they're going, "What's that?" It's
Yeah, exactly.
But even things like a fridge freezer or a microwave, if it's slightly dodgy or if it's old, can kick out the.
I used to have a freezer that I used to joke there was a wee old manny locked in it, because every so often at certain times of day you would literally hear from my kitchen, and I used to say, "Yeah, it's the old man I've got locked in the freezer." But it was one of them. It was 20-year-old when I got it, and I had it for 15 years before it finally died.
Well, they were made to last.
Yeah.
In them days.
Now they're made to die 2 days after the warranty does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And always, I can set my fridge. I can set this from my phone.
Yeah.
Well, why would you want to set your fridge from your phone? But it's an intelligent
and when
fridge.
Your phone dies, how do you do it manually?
Well, yeah. I can do this, and having seen Teslas and a bit having his that was programmed from outside externally. Who's to say, like you said, they just turn off your freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's died.
But it's like, obviously, you do get the stories, because I've seen stuff, and I think since, like I've said before, since my heart attack, I'm more skeptical now. But you think, ghost sightings and things have been on the increase since things like Wi-Fi now have been around.
Increased electromagnetic field interference.
Yeah. So we've gone down to 3.
Any Sparky can tell you if your bed's too close to the meter cupboard, you're going to have weird dreams and potential insomnia and hallucinations and God knows what else.
Yeah.
Any Sparky will tell you that.
Right. So we'll go with this one. It don't look much. It's got to be real because there's a red circle around it.
Red circle, so it has to be true.
So it's got to be true. Let me grab my glasses because it'll be easier. Right.
I've got my glasses on.
This is a still from a video that Ed took in 1987. The Warrens became involved in the alleged haunting of Borchers Hall, often associated with reports of the White Lady. British paranormal investigators and local researchers question the Warrens' methods and conclusions. Critics argue that the evidence they presented relied heavily on witness testimony rather than independent verifiable proof. Some claim that paranormal activity appeared to increase only after media attention arrived and that no convincing physical evidence supported the haunting. Right. Now, this...
Well, who's to say ghosts can't be media struck?
Possibly.
Celebrities.
Well, this is
you imagine how many dead Elvis fans are stood outside Graceland on a daily basis?
Yeah. Now,
going and knocking on the coffin just because they can, because nobody can see them.
Yeah. Now, this is allegedly a still from...
He's not in here.
This is allegedly a still from a video in 87 that Ed took. Because that's a strange thing as well. He always claimed that they'd done loads of photography and loads of video footage, but he would never, ever release the video footage.
Mm-hmm.
This has come out. This is allegedly the White Lady. He supposedly a still from it. He supposedly managed to capture. It's since
trying to make it out.
Sorry,
trying to make it out. It looks like the still of a house with the roof line, and the pale bit is one of the upstairs windows.
There, in fairness, there are slightly clearer images on Google Images of it, and it does look like
that
something
fact that you can only download this one. That's a rubbish one. Yeah,
unfortunately, because it keeps coming up that you can only look at it on the web for some reason.
Yeah.
Now the thing with this is it's come out, and we're going back to Judith again.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird as well, because apparently she was only 16 at the time.
And she's in a white dress.
And it said that Ed brought her a white dress, and she had a piece of bed sheeting put over her head, and Ed got her to walk from behind her gravestone.
Okay.
Now, it was weird enough that she moved in at the age of 15. It was weird enough to the point that the police over in the state I was in went, there's something iffy about this. And they actually arrested Judith to say, look, you've got to be having an affair with Ed. You know it's illegal. And weird thing was, Ed would drive her to it's like a daily ball stall thing.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is, Ed would drive her there every day.
Mm-hmm.
And they would sit for a few minutes in the car before she got out. So it was kind of strange. And the fact that when she was
not really, because again, playing devil's advocate, you've got someone's you've got a young child staying at yours, whether she's there as a maid or whatever. I mean, people started work a damn sight earlier in those days. And
but even the stories about her being in the house differed every time they was asked.
Well, they will do.
Can
you remember what you did last week?
No, but some said she was a street urchin. Sometimes they said she was a street urchin they took in. Other times they said she was a niece. You know, different stories every
But
time.
again, it's like anything. The stories grow as you go down the line.
Mm.
There might be a kernel of truth in there, but
And in some places, it's entirely not an issue. Look at Jerry Lee Lewis and his wife.
no, exactly.
Great
She
balls
was-
of fire
it-
indeed.
Yeah. But in those
I think he
days,
got cream for that in the end, though.
wrong though it was, I mean, you go back far enough, they married kids off at 8-year-old.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Mm.
And even right up into the 1800s and early 1900s.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
minute a girl had her
She's a
first
queen.
monthly
Yeah, she's been
annoyance-
married off to a 40-year-old king to
Yeah.
secure the relationship between the kingdoms.
Mm.
I mean, I can think of cases locally where I live where right up into like the 1930s, 11 and 12-year-olds were being married off to 50-year-old men the minute they'd
That
had
still
their
goes
first
on in
month.
certain.
Exactly.
Yeah, we mentioned it once before.
Mhm.
There was somebody took a hidden camera into a certain type of place, and the person that was running it literally said, and he was caught on camera, old enough to bleed, old enough to breed.
Yeah, but it's not just them. I
No,
do
no,
have
I know.
to say
Yeah, I
it's
know,
not
but-
just them. A lot of
but-
people think it is just them, but it's not.
No, it's not.
It happens in a lot of places, including the USA and the UK.
Mhm.
It's not, but as we expand and as we go forward, and I've said it before, discussed it with friends,
What's normal
They
to
are-
one tribe is alien.
they
to another.
are technologically and everything else 200 years behind us.
Yep.
The whole setup, the whole is 200 years behind
Yep.
the
Yeah,
West.
yeah.
Even
Very
up here, one of my most regular jokes is up here, we are 40, 50 years behind London,
Mm. Yeah.
as evidenced by the power outages when we have a storm.
Mm.
Like, we don't have enough wilderness to put the cables underground, you see.
Mm. Yeah. Another interesting case with the Bathsheba situation with in The Conjuring.
Oh, I've seen so much about Bathsheba in the last 2 years. I feel sorry for her.
Yeah. Trouble is, a lot of it's all bullshit.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that's why I feel sorry for her.
Supposedly, this happened, that happened. She killed her kids and blah blah blah, and then got hung. She didn't. She was 84 when she died.
Yeah.
She died in her bed.
Did have a child who died very young, but that child had what we nowadays know is an illness.
Mm.
But the fact that since those movies come out, they've had to replace her gravestone 7 times to the point where they've stopped replacing it because people are going and vandalizing it because of the BS spread by the movie.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons why I wanted to speak to Andrea to see what she actually thought about the Bathsheba thing. So, and she's in the same camp as we are. It's like they've taken half a story, made it sound cooler, made it sound scarier, and turned this strange old lady who lived alone for most of her life, which, well, we're talking about before penicillin, so that would have happened to a lot of people, and made her into the nastiest female on the planet.
Yep.
And the poor cow's probably spinning in her grave because of what the folk around her think of her.
And it's just, and a lot of that was, yes, the films, but Ed and Lorraine Warren was saying that she did this, that, and the other, and she didn't. The poor woman was in her 80s and died alone in her sleep in her bed. She wasn't hung. You know,
again, stories.
Yeah.
Stories grow, stories create their own truths. And if it's going to make you an awful lot of money, then there's going to be people who will exploit it. And if one old woman suffers because of it.
I have one example of that from personal experience. But I have to kind of edit it because there are still people in living memory. So, a distant family member was, shall we say, well known in certain circles. Not quite violent cases, but not far off. And they had several shops in several places in the UK. They died mysteriously. And the wives had the Daily Record, the Daily Mail, the News of the World camping out on their front gardens for 8 months after the bodies were found.
Jesus.
And they were coming out with, oh, they've been seen here, they've been seen there, they've been seen the other, there's video evidence and blah, blah, blah. Both women had just been and identified their husbands' dead bodies. And then, of course, it was all over the papers when the women answered the door with the rifle in their hands. Until a local policeman turned up and pulled his rifle out the boot of the car. Then the journalist left. You know. But as I say, I have to be careful about what I can reveal about that. So that's about all I can say on that. But it just shows how easy the journalists turn.
Oh, yeah, and the journalists, especially these days.
Yeah.
You look at social media.
AI, everything.
You. It's like the old saying, Abraham Lincoln, how often do you beat your wife? I don't beat my wife. Abraham Lincoln denies beating wife.
Yeah.
That's the headline.
Makes him look guilty.
It makes him look guilty, and there's going to be people, because it suits their narrative, who are going to believe it.
But with this this white lady case in England, with all the stories that supposedly happened with Judith and that, the fact that it's documented by the police that she lived with them. It's documented that she was actually arrested under suspicion of having a sexual affair with Ed. I don't know what the outcome of that was or whatever.
But how old was she when it started?
15, allegedly.
Allegedly. But she lived with him for 40 years. 40 plus years.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think over in America, I may be wrong, but over in America, you can't be legally sexually active until you're 18, I think it is.
Depends what state.
Depends on the state, because if you look...
I know some of them are like 21, 24.
Yeah, I was going to say, the one who was Prince Andrew's case. Over here, it would have been legal.
Yeah.
It was only because of where she was.
Yeah.
The state she was in. And she was only a couple of months,
I think,
from being legal in that state.
Having known his close protection staff member up here, there are as many cases he should be answering as days in the year.
Oh, I can believe that.
Oh, I don't.
And that's from his close protection officer who is now passed on.
I don't for a second disbelieve it. But when you're in that position of power...
I've been in the same room as him, but I didn't meet him, and he made my skin crawl just watching him from across the room. Yeah,
but there are people who fall for power.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you see them throwing themselves at them. It's like these who throw themselves at mass murderers. They're on death row. Oh, I'm getting married to him. He's such a wonderful person. I can change him.
Or like the last half hour in the nightclub where everybody throws them at anybody. Throws themselves at anybody.
When I worked up at Sellafield, we used to go to a club in Cleator Moor. On Thursday night was Grappler Granny night. As we called it.
Yeah. Wednesday night's Grab a Granny night up here.
One of the lads realised, thankfully it was not something I ever had to do because I was in a serious relationship at the time.
In Norwich, it was always known as well riding.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And one of the lads realised he was slacking.
Mm.
And there was a lass there. She was a big lass. And she knew exactly what was going on.
Mm.
And he walked over and tried to lay it all on. And she said at the top of her voice, "I wouldn't be seen dead with you, you ugly fuck." And he went, and she totally
after my own
ripped him. Yes. And it was brilliant.
Mm.
Absolutely brilliant.
Linda did briefly mention the Devil Made Me Do It case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed and Lorraine saying about how it was Arn Cheyenne Johnson in 1981 killed his landlord, and supposedly the Warren said, because his case was he's the first person to go on trial and his defense was demonic influence.
I did dig up a couple of little snips from that.
What they don't actually tend to tell you about that case is that the landlord was actually having an affair with Arn's fiance.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
it's. I don't know whether I've got the right one, but Ed allegedly do a exorcism on him.
He done an exorcism on the
little boy, David.
Yes.
And he's the one that
he claimed.
Arn says, pick on me, pick on somebody your own size. And he reckons that's how he got possessed.
No, that's the case.
It was also, he then, when he went forward, he tried using that. The fact that he was possessed and he'd had.
Yeah.
Mm. That was
an excuse, and it was booted out.
That's what I was about the little boy a little while ago, that they would only talk about the case.
Yes.
And what a demon would do when the boy was in the room.
Yeah, the Glatz family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dug up a couple of little bits on that as well.
Glatzel.
Yeah.
Glatzel family, yeah.
Right, so we're over to Linda then.
So David was 11-year-old. The Hollywood story of this is David was 11-year-old. He was possessed by a demon. During an exorcism, his sister's boyfriend, Arn, challenges the demon to enter him. Arn later stabs his landlord to death while possessed. The sketchy reality. The judge immediately threw the demonic defense out of court, calling it a mockery of the legal system, and Arn was convicted of manslaughter. Mm-hmm. David's older brother, Carl Glatzel, later sued the Warrens and the author of the book about the case. The debunking proof. Carl Glatzel revealed that his little brother David was actually suffering from a severe undiagnosed mental illness. Carl stated that the Warrens exploited his brother's mental health issues solely for fame and money, promising that the family would become millionaires from a movie deal by letting them go ahead with the publicity that they were doing.
And if you look into that, they're the ones I mentioned earlier that only got $2,500.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again.
But I do like how it's the older brother who's sued.
Yeah.
So they can't do you're remembering it wrong because you were too young.
Again, the cynic in me says they'd have been quite happy if they'd have got a bigger cut.
Yeah.
I didn't get the cut I wanted.
If they had become millionaires like they were told, then
there'd been none of this controversy. It's not to do with they were faking it. It's to do with the fact you didn't give me the money I wanted.
Yeah. Literally.
And as I've said previously in this, several of them that Ed and Lorraine allegedly helped went on to Sally Jesse Raphael show and you can find the video footage on YouTube and that. And people that claim, oh yeah, well, so and so witnessed this and so witnessed that, and we got no link other than the fact that they're neighbours. And the neighbours literally stood there on live TV and gone, we did not witness that. And Ed Warren's gone, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And they've gone, no, we didn't. We did not see that happen.
Again, the devil's advocate, being the cynic I am, you're being paid to go on a show and debunk it. We're going to pay you 10 grand to come on and say you didn't witness that.
But it's like the Smell family supposedly had all of that going on. Yet what they don't tell you is they had somebody living in a flat. I think it's the Smell family. They had somebody living in a property above them, and they said we never heard any of the screams, the shouts, or the bangs that they claim happened.
Well, the Smurls was a freestanding house, so there would have been nobody above them.
Oh, it must be the other one. One of the other.
It was a duplex with Granny and Grandad in one side and Mum and Dad and the kids on the other.
Oh, I've got the family name wrong, but it's one of the families that had somebody who was literally not linked to them at all, and they said all these times you said like things are being moved and things are being smashed and there's all these noise going on. We've been up here and we've not heard a single thing. We've never heard any swearing or screaming or shouting. And literally what you're saying is not happening. And Ed Warren, Lorraine, when you watch it, she goes extremely quiet. And Ed he literally goes bright red in the face like a beetroot and he explodes.
Yeah.
But again, as I said at the start of the show, if I'd got someone putting me in that position myself and telling me everything that I've done and everything that I've worked towards was bullshit, and we're bringing witnesses.
Yeah.
Again, prove that the witnesses aren't being paid to say what they're doing to bring them down.
Again, for those who aren't familiar with these stories, I've found some more detail on the Arn one, if you want.
Yep.
In a small Connecticut town in 1981, a brutal killing brought about one of the most unprecedented criminal defense strategies to emerge in U.S. history. In Fairfield County, a young attorney representing an accused teenager told Connecticut's Superior Court that his client should not be held culpable for stabbing his landlord to death because the killing was a result of demonic possession. The sensational case of 19-year-old Arn Cheyenne Johnson, charged for the killing of 40-year-old Alan Bono, brought national media attention to Fairfield County in what quickly became known as the Devil Made Me Do It murder trial. The case again drew the nation's eyes to self-professed demonologists and paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine. The couple, who lived in nearby Monroe, was known for their investigation into the supposed Amityville haunting years prior on Long Island, as well as their attachment to a purported supernatural happening at a council house in Enfield, North London.
Weirdly, my next topic point.
Yeah. The prelude to Johnson's legal case, along with the supposed mid-exorcism wrestling of a demon from his girlfriend's kid brother into himself, provides one prong of the plot of The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Since the actual Arn Johnson.
Well, the one I saw said that was Alan Bono.
Oh, okay. But it says on Google. It says
he doesn't look 40. He doesn't look 40, so it probably is Arn. So
it does only look like to be in his 20s. So,
yeah.
But
I don't know if you a lot of photos I see of people in the past, they all look a damn sight older than they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That photo's just come up on the page I'm looking at, and that is him stepping from a police van on arrival at the court in Danbury for the opening day of his trial.
Looking under his arm, you can see the mesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you look, and also I found this. There you go. He's actually handcuffed to an officer.
Yeah.
So okay. Anyway,
if you saw that over here, you'd assume the one in the suit was the officer.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. So Since the horror film largely skips over trial proceedings in favour of jump scares and other fictional murder subplot, viewers may be left wondering what exactly happened in Brookfield with Johnson's unprecedented defence, and how much daylight exists between truth, the Warrens' version of events, and what's portrayed on screen. At a glance, the killing of Bono on February the 16th, 1981 at a Brookfield dog kennel looked straightforward. An alcohol-fueled tussle led to a 5-inch pocket knife being drawn, followed by a brutal stabbing that left the new in-town 40-year-old kennel keeper dead. The Washington Post reported in 1981 as the trial loomed that Johnson's lawyer said there were 4 or 5 tremendous wounds, including one extending from Bono's stomach to the base of his heart. His murder was the first in Brookfield history. It was not an unusual crime, the then police chief John Anderson told the Post. Somebody got angry, an argument resulted. We couldn't have a simple, uncomplicated murder. Oh no. Instead, everyone in the whole world converges on Brookfield. Johnson was found that day about 2 miles away, arrested, then held at Bridgeport Correctional Centre in lieu of a $125,000 bail. He said he remembered nothing of what happened. At the kennel that day was his fiancée. I hit the wrong button there. Was his fiancée, Debbie Glatzel, along with her 9-year-old cousin Mary and Johnson's sister Wanda. Debbie Glatzel told police that just before the stabbing, a drunk Bono, for whom she worked, grooming and tending to dogs, had grabbed Mary and wouldn't let her go. Johnson had intervened. He began growling like an animal, she said, before drawing his knife and stabbing her boss repeatedly. In the months before the stabbing, she said, her fiancé had started to show some odd behaviour, falling into trances, growling, hallucinating, which he wouldn't remember afterwards. This was all alarmingly similar to her youngest brother's recent behaviour, which began in the summer of 1980, after he'd entered a rental property the couple had acquired. At first, as the Post reported, 11-year-old David claimed to have seen an old man with coarse, ruddy skin, wearing a torn plaid shirt and blue jeans in the house. The old man told the boy to beware as he pushed him onto a waterbed that had been left in the house's master bedroom. No one else claimed to have seen this apparition, but David soon began to show odd behaviour and physical markings, night terrors and unexplained scratches, bruises. After 12 days, his family decided to contact the Warrens for help. The Warrens said they were troubled by what they saw happening in Brookfield. David's supposed demonic possession was then investigated by the Catholic Church. According to Lorraine Warren, who said a total of 6 priests participated in 3 lower exorcisms. I think they mean lesser exorcisms, or the Roman ritual for 2, the secondary Roman ritual. The primary Roman ritual is what we would know as a proper exorcism.
Yeah.
Performed on the boy. One allegedly took place at St. Joseph's Catholic Church with 4 priests in attendance. She said, and according to her, they agreed David was possessed. It wasn't just Ed and I. The cream of the Catholic Church was involved, and there was tremendous documentation, she told the News Times in an article about the case.
And as I said at the beginning, none of these so-called priests or exorcists have ever been named.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, again, devil's advocacy on that one. They don't want to be named.
I was away to say the church probably doesn't allow them to be.
And
to protect them.
So I'm just absolutely
sweating. I mean, the Warrens kept a lot of people's names out of things. Again, you could argue that was because they didn't exist, or it was fabrication, or you could argue the opposite.
Yeah.
That they were genuinely keeping people's names out of things to protect them.
So
could be a bit of both.
Yeah.
At one point, Warren claimed the boy levitated. Members of his family told the Post that as the demon took over, David would lower his head, then slowly raise it up with his face contorted into a snarl. They would only see the whites of his eyes, and he would laugh hideously. His mother, Judy Glatzel, and the Warrens claimed that in the house, plates levitated, rocking chairs flew through the air, and a toy dinosaur walked around. The toy dinosaur is in the Warren Museum. Speaking with The People in 1981, Ed Warren said that he and his wife knew after these exorcisms that 43 demons were inside David. He's only 11. That's a lot of demons. They'd demanded names. And David gave 43 different names, he told the magazine. However, Father Nicholas Greco of the Diocese of Bridgeport told People at the time that while the situation with David and the Gratzels was investigated by the church, no exorcism was ever performed. The family would not submit David to the necessary psychological tests before an exorcism could be granted. Then, Johnson's murder trial began on October 28th, 1981. At Connecticut Superior Court in Danbury, his attorney, 33-year-old Martin Minella, told the Post ahead of the trial that he believed Bono's stab wounds were far too deep to have been done by human hands. That's a leap of faith. He also told the paper that the potential for a demonic possession defense was introduced by the Warrens. I didn't come up with this, Minella said. This is what was presented to me. I went to see Ed and Lorraine, and I decided to take the case after talking to them. Surprise, surprise. They told me that when you're possessed, you have no control over your actions, and that stuck in my mind. Minella told The People that he traveled to England ahead of the trial, seeking precedent by consulting with lawyers who'd handled 2 alleged demonic cases there. Those 2 did not go to trial. However, he also had planned to bring exorcism specialists from Europe into the courtroom to testify. He said and spoke of subpoenas for the local priests who refused to testify. He also mentioned to the Post ahead of the trial that top movie studios were interested in the case. Lorraine confirmed this with the reporter.
What year? What year was this?
1981.
That's convenient that 1981. He's over in England for the Devil Made Me Do It case. Did you say he was in England for that?
Yeah.
It was an American case, though.
Yeah, but he was over in England looking for exorcism specialists from Europe.
Well, it just seems strange that while he's over in England in 1981, it's the same time that he got the video footage of the lady in white that Judith claims was her dressed up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
365 days in a year.
Yeah. So Lorraine says, will we have a book written about this? She rhetorically asked. Yes, we will. Will we lecture about it? Yes, we will. Our agents at the William Morris Agency are talking to film producers. Ahead of the trial, Minella also said that as part of his defense, he planned to bring religion directly into the courtroom. The courts have dealt with the existence of God, and now they'll be asked to deal with the existence of the demonic spirit, he said. Judge Robert Callahan, who presided over the jury trial, was swift to reject the demonic possession defense. Allowing such testimony in the court would be irrelative. I've never heard that word before. Irrelative and unscientific, he said.
Probably means irrelevant.
Yeah. The court will take judicial notice that the profession, the business, or hobby of locating demons has not risen to that level of viability where it would be of assistance to the jury in deciding the case. Instead, Minella implied self-defense at the trial, which lasted about 3 weeks. Jurors never heard a word about demonic possession or Johnson's mid-exorcism demand that the entity take him instead. On November 24th, after the jury deliberated for 15 hours over 3 days, Johnson was convicted of first-degree manslaughter, sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison. A model inmate, he was released 5 years later. Is The Devil Made Me Do It based on a true story? Johnson and Debbie Glatzel maintained that their account of what happened in Brookfield with David, the circumstances of Bono's murder, and Johnson's demonic possession was all true. Upon his release from prison, Johnson showed no signs of possession. According to the Warrens, who spoke with the Associated Press in 1986, Ed Warren told the Associated Press that possession doesn't last 24 hours a day. It comes quickly and leaves quickly. Lorraine Warren, who died in 2019, maintained it was all real too. She had recounted her version of the events for the 1983 book The Devil in Connecticut by Gerald Brittle. After its publication, she reportedly sent $2,000 in profits from the book to the Glatzel family. However, in 2006,
on the book.
Debbie's other brother, Carl, claimed in a legal filing that most of the incidents described in that book are complete lies, and that his family was manipulated and exploited by the Warrens. The paranormal investigators were opportunists who turned his little brother's undiagnosed schizophrenia, which he said caused David to experience hallucinations and delusions from 1979 right the way through to 1982, into a media frenzy that fueled their fame and profits, but led them to lose relationships and business opportunities, he claimed. Lorraine Warren, who was then freshly widowed, said that such accusations that she and her husband would go so far as to manipulate a family for profit were upsetting. You can't imagine that something that you've done that nobody could poke holes in and have something come out by somebody who knows nothing about what they are doing, she said. Johnson has since stated that in The Devil on Trial that he never had an exorcism and is not.
I've actually got that Devil on Trial on wait to watch after this. Actually, apparently it's extremely interesting.
Yeah.
But that's very much like the Haunting in Connecticut case.
Yeah.
The boy was dealing with a cancer. They moved into a place that was a former mortuary, I think it was, or something like that, or a funeral home, because it was the cheapest they could afford and it was closest to the hospital.
Yeah.
And they were saying, oh, yes, he's definitely possessed by the house is possessed and this and that and the other. There's definitely demons involved. And it all suddenly stopped when he was given medication because it turned out he was schizophrenic as well.
Yep.
Yet the Warrens still continue to maintain that it was demonic activity, even though it was proven to be schizophrenia.
Well, Debbie, the girlfriend of Arn, died in 2021.
So not that long ago.
Arn and Debbie stayed together. They got married in 1984 while he was still in jail. They lived a private life in Connecticut until she died in 2021. Arn is still alive and living in Connecticut. He credits his wife for helping him survive the intense scrutiny and prison. And he has since said that he doesn't believe he was possessed. He never received an exorcism. So everything seems to be fine, he says. My life is moving forward. So the fact that X number of years later, he's gone, I'm fine. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. But I like how that one's gone into that it's like suspended all the paranormal stuff and gone into the actual details of the case.
There is an interesting case. Right, you did actually mention this one. And we'll start here. The Enfield case. Now,
that's not a child jumping off the bed. That's a child levitating.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Right. Now,
apart from the fact you can see the ligaments are tensed behind her knees.
Yeah. Now, at the time, Maurice Grosse was one of the main investigators on that case. He'd only just lost his daughter, I believe, to a car crash. It was either a car crash or a hit and run that he'd lost his daughter to. And his daughter's name was Janet as well.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I think it might be because he didn't get closure on his daughter. That's why he was so engrossed in that case. And what's the other guy's name? Something Lyons, isn't it? I can't think the other guy's name.
Guy Playfair Lyons or Guy Lyon Playfair.
Yeah. Right. They'd done over 200 recordings of Janet and her sister. There's one video clip that I watched earlier, and I've probably seen it, but it's never really registered. The two girls are sat there, and one of them, they're asked by Maurice Grosse, what's it like to live in a house that's haunted? And one of them goes, the house isn't haunted. And Janet, the one that is apparently her hobby was ventriloquism and doing impressions of people, quickly goes, shh, like that to her. So straight away, and I've said before, if you look at one of the video clips of supposedly Bill talking through Janet, you can see that her lips are actually moving. But these images are supposedly of her levitating. Now, it was a series of 3 photos. And if we do this, and we just go through the 3 main photos, which is supposedly her being taken off, to me, it looks like jumping. But until I watched her, I actually must admit I did subscribe to them. I can't remember what their name is, but there's a lady, American lady, that does this sort of thing, debunking. I hadn't noticed. If you look at the orangey red duvet cover, look at the shape of it there. Look at the shape of it there. Then look at the shape of it there. So supposedly, them 3 photos were taken in one after the other.
At the very least, they're back to front.
Yeah, I think that's just the way it's gone. But if you look, the actual duvet, the shape of the duvet is completely different.
Yeah.
On that one,
where's the young lad come from?
Yeah. But in that one, it's the brother. Because apparently, I only thought it was 3, but apparently there was 4. One of them.
Go back one.
This one.
Yeah. He's not in that one.
He's not in that one.
He's not in either.
Where's that blue thing come from?
Yeah. Now supposedly
look at the bed sheet. In the first one, it's like you said,
it's half pulled down.
Yeah.
And you got the young brother there. You got the I think that's pattern on the duvet or on the blanket or something, that blue. But you can't actually see it in the other. Yeah, the sheet.
I think that blue is
slightly further, but
that blue is an entirely separate piece of fabric because it's not the same as either of the fabrics of the duvet cover or the orange throat.
It's totally separate. But looking at that looks like a mottled. I mean, that could just be the photo, but that looks like a mottled duvet cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, like an eiderdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you look at Janet's bed, where her feet are, it's a very small, very, very small triangle. this is supposedly the third image. In the first one, it's triangular. In that one, it's rectangular. And the one when she was in the middle of the air, it's pulled halfway down the bed.
That's why I've been saying that's actually the first one. The second one is the second one. And the first one is actually the third one. 3 different attempts to get the shot.
Yeah. So it's either 3 different...
And they haven't bothered with the continuity checks.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, I can see why Morris potentially was so fixated on the case. You know, I think it was only like 2 or 3 weeks or so beforehand his own daughter had died.
Yeah.
And the SPR, they want to try to prove that there is something there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe they've used that to their advantage on cheating. Now, as far as the Warrens go on that case, the film's
some reports say they were there for 10 minutes.
The case claims that they were called in. The films claim that they were called in.
The family say they turned up.
Apparently, yep. Apparently, they just turned up. Ed walked into the house. He sat down with a cup of tea and a piece of cake. And one of the first things he said was, "For 10 grand, I can help you get rid of this, and you'll be famous." And apparently, he didn't even get to finish his cup of tea.
Yeah,
he was thrown straight out of the house. Now, other stories say he returned on 3 other occasions. Some say it's 2 other occasions. It can't be confirmed. The 4th occasion, allegedly, when he came back, the girls have said no, he didn't go there. Apparently, he done some mumbo jumbo to get rid of the demon, some exorcism or something. Allegedly, that never happened. I'm not 100% sure which one. I think it was Janet, the one that actually did all the stuff, has actually in later years come out and said they made it up. Now, Peggy Hodgson, what they don't actually say is Peggy Hodgson actually, at one point, because she was getting so fed up of all the media attention and this, that, and the other, she actually had Janet put into foster care. And Janet actually grew up in foster care.
Yeah.
Whereas there was no reports anywhere else of that. So I've always been dubious. It's a fantastic story. You know, out of all the Conjuring films, I actually think that's one of the better films. I really do think that's a really good, fairly good film. But with the Warrens, no, they claim they helped the 2 Morris Groves and Lyons get rid of it. They wasn't involved at all.
No.
And what they was involved was actually literally bare minimum.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I'm not okay. Hollywood needs to put a story there. So in the story, in the film, they were there through the whole thing. But even before the films came out, if you research it, Ed and Lorraine Warren made out that it was them that got rid of
the
house.
Do you want to put? I've got a clipper.
Yep. This. Yep. Oh, this is the clip I was on about. If you watch your throat.
This is the chilling case of the Enfield Poltergeist. In 1977, 11-year-old Janet Hodgson claimed a ghost took over her voice, and this interview shocked the world. During a recorded session, Janet appeared to speak in a deep, unearthly voice, one that doctors claimed was impossible for a child to produce.
It's not impossible.
How many voices are there?
600.
600 voices.
I know the joke.
How many really are there, Margaret?
I think so far we've had 10
Great.
sensible voices, but the rest of the names are absolute rubbish.
Even seasoned investigators were spooked. Was she possessed, or was it an elaborate hoax? the Enfield Poltergeist remains one of the most documented and debated hauntings in history. Do you think it was real, or just a terrifying performance? Drop your thoughts below, if you dare. Real interview.
But if you look at that, when she's got Bill's voice coming through, you can see a windpipe going up and down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you can see
you can manipulate your voice, or what experts say.
Mm.
X as in has been, spurt as in drip under pressure.
Mm.
Well, like we did before.
Oh yeah, you done it a few weeks ago, didn't you?
I
can do Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot easier than you think.
Yeah.
Especially if you use your own voice.
Yeah. And the fact is that they've actually admitted that ventriloquism was one of her hobbies.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to think, what would it be?
You shouldn't have done that.
You should have done that considering you're just getting over laryngitis. She's going to lose her voice again now. And you think around, what year was it? 1970, wasn't it?
In the 70s.
Yes.
In the 70s, anyway.
The clothing shows you that much.
77.
77.
Yeah.
Who was on the TV at 77? You had Ray Charles and Nookie Bear. You had Orville.
No.
Almost.
No.
Oh, no, Orville was the 80s, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, there was. I mean, it was, ventriloquists on the radio.
Lord
Which
Charles.
always works wonderful.
I've never understood that.
Lord Charles and the posh guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Lord Charles.
You had Ray Charles, Lord Charles, you had Nookie Bear, and you had all of them sort of things. It was on a TV almost on a daily basis.
Sooty and Sweep.
Yep.
So that sort of thing was.
Well, one of them did. Did either of them talk?
Well, no.
Yeah, Basil Brush.
Sue spoke.
Yeah, Basil Brush.
Yeah, but you had ventriloquists. I don't think Peter Bruff would have been on the telly in the 70s, would he? Or I'm not sure.
No, I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, Peter Bruff and Archie. Is it Peter Bruff and Archie Andrews? Something like that. But yeah, the ventriloquists were on TV almost on a daily basis in the 70s and even into the early 80s. And Christ, I remember when they done that, they released that song of Orville singing "I Wish I Could Fly" or whatever it was called. Yeah, I remember being in the playground and watching kids trying to do impressions of Orville without moving their lips. Oh, can you do Orville without moving? So back then, also it was an extremely poor family that was going through a divorce in a period in English time where the rich and poor were almost level back in them times. So, you make your own entertainment. You watch, Nookie Bear's on the TV. The bear's talking, his lips ain't moving. I wonder if I can do that.
Yeah.
So, but as far as I know,
how many of us flipped our jackets upside down on a windy day to see if we could fly like Superman,
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not still doing that?
No, I'm too heavy to try.
Now,
I've tried with throwing a few people off, but they've never flown.
Now, the Warrens' involvement in that is it's blatant lies.
Yeah.
And
it's that's a famous case. Let's tag our names on it, see if we can get an extra couple of quid.
Yeah. Ironically, the family, even though it was all fake, or in my opinion, it was all fake, should I say, they got bugger all for it.
Yeah.
And what did the Warrens get? They got a movie deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Amityville story. That's been admitted to being fake. All right, okay. DeFeo killed his family. And we know from experience, from going on investigations, areas of high anxiety and things like that can cause hauntings. But there's like something like 17 Amityville films.
At least.
And even
random stupid stuff like the clock, and it's like, really,
Christ, yeah.
you're making follow-ups about pieces of furniture in the house now?
I made a mistake a couple of weeks ago of watching that.
I've never watched it. I'm glad to say.
That's
I
18,
watched it
that's
about
18 minutes of my life I'll
ago.
never get
I
back.
fell asleep.
I saw it advertised and thought, you know what? I'll give it a miss.
To be honest with you,
one and
it's
two,
almost as bad as the new
I
Flipping.
enjoyed. One and two, I enjoyed the Amityvilles.
Mm.
The rest of it just started to feel like the Freddy movies. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
first
And
half
then-
hour was okay. After that, I'm going to go and find something to do.
And don't forget the remake with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
The original got remade with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, pass.
Yeah.
I still prefer it with Barbara Streisand's hubby.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's who he was in the old movie.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
weirdly enough,
that's nothing to do with the movie.
do you not think that character actually suited him too well?
Mm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of actors character actors in that who are
Well, Robert Englund, Freddy.
who play characters that you just make them totally and utterly believable.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And you can
apparently
see him
recently,
in a totally different film. And they are brilliant in that.
Yeah.
But it's not the same.
That's why I
You wouldn't
like
believe it was the same person.
when Stephen King pops up in his movies, because there's a couple where he is just like the absolute bumbling neurodivergent is the only nice way to say it, person working in a petrol station, and he comes across as thick as mince and twice as ugly.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, he's an office worker in the next movie, and I like how he does that. And it's an entirely different character that he does.
Well, one of my favourite is Gary Oldman.
oh, he's a phenomenal actor.
His
I love him.
brain
I love
is
him.
amazing for how
You
he up
look at the
characters.
roles he's played, and he's totally and utterly believable in every one of them.
I had an argument
There you
with
are,
somebody.
still from the
Right.
Ryan Reynolds one.
Yeah.
My boss.
I had an argument with somebody recently who they reckon they're like Harry Potter crazy fan and all the movies and everything. And I'm like, right, what do Sirius Black, the crazy millionaire from The Fifth Element, and Dracula have in common?
Gary Oldman.
Gary
And
Oldman.
she didn't know they were all played by the same guy. She swore blind they were different guys. But I can see her point, because you look at Sirius Black. Sirius Black is about 20 years younger than Vlad Dracul.
Yeah.
Even though the Dracula movie was made like 25 years earlier.
That dreadful English accent Keanu does.
At least Winona's is kind of half English.
Mm.
But hers is anyway. Even in Stranger Things, and it took me about 4 episodes to realize it was her. But yeah, and it's like people are like, "Oh, but it can't be," and like, it is. It's
I was actually
But
really
that's the beauty of it, and the
He's a
character
better
is so
chameleon than Johnny Depp.
yeah.
The guy
Johnny
is such a
Depp's a good
cracking actor.
chameleon.
You believe the role he's playing.
When he's the crazy millionaire in The Fifth Element, when I was first looking at it, I'm like, I know the face, but the voice doesn't match.
Yeah.
And it was when he's at the desk and tense his fingers.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, it's
I
Dracula.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was actually really shocked. I was shocked years, a long time ago, I found out. But when I found out that his sister was actually in EastEnders,
Yep.
I didn't realise. I honestly didn't realise, because they don't look anything alike.
No.
So,
But then
right.
it's like me and
I
my
don't look
brother,
anything
I
like
know-
my sister. She's got hair.
There's folk in here that have known me for like 20, 22 years.
Mm.
Didn't have a clue I had a brother. And when they've met me and my brother out and about uptown, they think he's a new boyfriend. I'm like, no, honey, this is my baby brother. You know, and same with him, because we are entire opposites, personality, appearance, habits. We are complete opposites.
Mm.
And most folk that know one of us and have known us for years don't realise that we're even
That's the one
related.
that you just done. That's the one you just done, wasn't it, Ian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Right. We're over to Ian. We have one
Right.
more for Ian and we'll finish with Linda, I think.
It's
find another
one
one.
that they have been associated with.
Mm.
The West Memphis 3 case.
Rings
A
a bell.
real life crime in 1993 where 3 teenagers were wrongfully convicted of the murder of 3 young boys.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
During the trial, the prosecution infamously capitalised on the era's satanic panic, falsely painting the teens' alternative interests, and Damien Eccles, who's one of the lads, esoteric readings as evidence of cultic or satanic ritualistic murder. Because the Warrens were famous paranormal investigators and demonologists, their name often surfaced in discussions of the case. They never actually consulted on the crime. They never actually had anything to do with it. But such is their fame, they were linked with it. They didn't even go there. They had nothing to do with it, but they were linked with the case. And there's people saying, oh, yeah, they were heavily involved. They proved it was satanic. Oh, bullshit. But again, on my devil's advocate side, it shows how much people are willing to believe of their culpability, they must have been involved. It was all to do with Satan, and people still to this day believe that they investigated it. It was since proved that the 3 lads, through DNA and everything else, had nothing whatsoever to do with the murders.
Oh, okay.
They were the 3 young lads who were murdered, 8-year-old lads who were murdered, were tied up with shoelaces and things like that.
Oh, Christ.
DNA, as we know, has massively improved, even in the last 20 years, let alone the last 40 years, 30 years. And it has been proved that there were nothing whatsoever to do with it. And they caught the guy who, I believe they caught the guy who did it. But again, say again.
I haven't heard of this case.
It's not one of the most famous ones. And like I say, it's not famous because he had nothing to do with it. But people claim that they were involved in it because it was paranormal and satanic. And, oh, yeah, the Warrens investigated it. But it shows that because of their reputation, people are so willing to believe anything against them.
Yeah. I've literally just remembered one. I'd completely forgotten about it. And it's actually fairly local to me. It's Southend-on-Sea. It is the supposed real life werewolf case of Bill Ramsey. Basic synopsis, right? Here we go. Because I completely forgot about this until Ian was just talking. Fascinated with the werewolf legend, Lorraine Warren and her initial skeptical husband, Ed, travelled around the world in search of real-life werewolves. The quest began in the Warrens' hometown of Monroe, Connecticut, where Lorraine and Ed spent what they thought was a relatively uneventful night with friends. As it turns out, what they witnessed that night was just the beginning Basically, there was a person over in Southend-on-Sea, which isn't overly far from me, to be honest. It's, I think, about a 35-minute, 40-minute trip. Ultimately,
didn't they arrange for an exorcism or something?
Yeah. No, I know from
Rings
doing
bells.
Yeah, it's because we're running late. I won't go too deep into it because we're running up to about the 2-hour mark now. But basically, yeah, it's somebody who was a werewolf possessed, and they got a big book deal out of it, as they always did. But if you research it at all, one of the most common beliefs with somebody with psychosis is that they transform, and one of the most common is they transform into a werewolf. So they basically used somebody's mental health condition to gain money yet again. So, right.
Yeah,
Lynn, have you got any last ones? Sorry, Ian?
I was going to say again, that doesn't mean that they necessarily fake things. They were just good at exploiting things. And if the need to make money or the ability to make money makes you a bad person, then there's an awful lot of bad people on this planet.
At the end of the day, it's money that makes the world go round, isn't it? So
yeah, as much as we might like it not to be.
Look at that red card in the Team America the other day. That was clearly money based. So,
and this is just my opinion, but Infantino needs fucking investigating. The whole bleeding lot of them do.
FIFA are known for that, though, aren't they? So,
yeah,
they're very well known for that. But then again, the cheating didn't work out in their favour, did it? So,
well, it's like they say, Trump has now declared that Belgium are only 2 weeks away from creating a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that meme go around. Apparently, though, I don't believe it because it's from papers like the Sun and the Mirror. But apparently, Donald Trump allegedly is going to get America put back into the World Cup. Well, I'm sorry, that's all BS. But from what I've seen, there's a lot of, how can I word this politely? There's a lot of people that are not happy with the fact that they got whitewashed. I must admit, it was a good game. It was a good game.
No, it was. But
and that third goal that they missed.
As a Bolton fan, I've read a lot of the comments from American bloody fans saying we had all this possession and we played the better football. Yeah, but you got goal scored against you. As a Bolton fan, where we've had 60-70% of the possession in a game and lost it, bloody 2 or 3-0. Possession doesn't win your games.
And that third goal, oh my God. That was it doesn't matter if it had been America, if it had been England, or whoever, how far that keeper was out, he swung and missed that ball completely. Oh, that's cute.
I just felt the need to distract for those of us who don't give a monkeys about football.
I don't give a monkeys about football, which is I've found that third goal.
I actually want Argentina to win.
Well, they actually reckon France.
I've got a colleague at work who's from Argentina, and she never gave a monkeys about football before, but she's gone football mad now.
I couldn't care less about the team. I hope they lose every other game, but I've got 120 quid riding on it in the work sweepstake.
Well, at the moment, a lot of pundits are pointing towards France winning.
Well, France have been a different class.
They always have. France have always had a.
I mean, like I say, I watched the Argentina game yesterday.
Did Scotland get to round 2 for a change?
No.
Oh, fair enough. Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
Let's get Linda back in the conversation.
Yeah, before I
more-
fall asleep. The only
more-
thing I've found is I want to show a snippet from the special effects from the original movie about the Smurl family. For one simple reason. When I saw these effects and heard these effects, I had goosebumps from the top of my head to the tip of my toes, because this is the closest I have ever seen and heard in a horror movie to what I have witnessed in people's buildings. So I just want to give you this little snippet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to do a share screen. No, that one.
If you pop it up, I'll chuck it on.
So
This one. Okay. So I can.
okay.
No, you do.
Now I don't know how you're going how it's going to come across sound wise, but we'll try.
I called the police.
What in the world's going on in there?
I have heard screams like that in the room right next to me. This is the best bit.
That dog never gonna shut up. It's gonna keep us awake all night. Mom, you want a refill? No, I'm fine. Sean, here's your drink. Sean, what is it? What do you see?
That's the visual and the growly audio.
Now that visual there, that visual of the black thing there,
Yeah.
is what I witnessed when I was told you about the poltergeist activity that I suffered when I was with my eldest son's mum in the house. That is what we saw, and that is what the dog chased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the growly with the multi-layered, multi-voice whisper underneath the growl that sent my system into overdrive, because I have heard that in so many buildings, usually just before somebody gets attacked, which thankfully I have to say, not me, but I've heard it so many times it just creeps me out.
When I done,
Like you say, it sounds like there's 3 or 4 people talking at the same time.
When we done me and a former teammate done Pottswood Gibbet, it was one of the last times we'd down there. We didn't hear it at the time, but when I was playing back editing the video, taking all the boring bits out and all this that, and the other, we actually caught that.
You mean 95% of it?
Yeah. To be honest, but we actually caught something very similar on camera. So it's and when you don't hear it at the time, then when you play it back and you hear something like that, it's like an ice cube going down your spine.
Yeah, I'm looking for the other bit. Here's the other bit.
Well, I one of the investigations I was on, I got an EVP. And there were quite a few of us in the room. It was someone had been murdered it was a hotel room. Someone had been murdered in there. Guy had murdered his wife. And we were getting nothing. And as everyone walked out, there was me and another lad left in the room. They pulled the door to behind him and we were talking.
Excuse me.
And when I heard a voice like that saying, "They've gone, get him." And I turned and looked at the lad. I said, "Did you hear that?" He said, "I'm out of here." And I actually caught it on an EVP. I actually recorded it. I had it on me, and it's gone. I've no
when
idea.
you get at something, it's not pleasant. Right, what's this bit here?
Here's the last wee bit.
Hoover it up.
we've actually seen things similar to that in Heidi's house.
That's giving me goosebumps just watching it.
That bit.
Do you ever watch the haunted hospitals?
Sometimes, yeah.
Some
Yes.
of their reproductions are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really do make you think, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know
I
yourself-
can't find the other bit that I was looking for, so I'll just
Yeah.
switch that bit off.
When,
And you
when
know
you
you
hear
said-
the people talking about him and telling it, and then they're showing what, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I think it's been a good one tonight. Thank you for those that are watching, anyone that did subscribe. We'll be back in a fortnight. Hopefully we do a bit better because I'm really disappointed on that Atlantis one. But me and Linda spoke about that just before you came on. So I've changed the title. So hopefully that'll
Yeah.
work. So unfortunately, Joe we forgot to mention poor old Joe the whole time.
Yeah.
Joe is supping beer with his feet up. He couldn't do anything. He could have come on. He chose to drink beer.
He chose to get drunk. Good on him.
Yeah,
The
I don't blame him.
temperatures
It's
he's been getting in France.
better
Jesus.
excuse than working.
Well, in fairness, he was doing his impression of Noah initially. So one of his neighbours had had a flood, and he's been kind enough to try and help. But we've missed you, Joe. So hopefully you'll get to watch this. Those that have been watching, Cole and Joanne definitely have been here. I'm assuming Perry's been here silently in the background somewhere.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
cheers, Cole.
Yeah, there's Cole.
Like I said, we don't get many comments for the number of people who are watching. So
No, I think
comment.
we
Give us some ideas.
one
Yes.
thing
Yeah,
that we
I shouldn't have done the
definitely
ventriloquism bit at all, should I?
No.
you're going to end up with laryngitis again, aren't you? One thing we definitely do need is we need people to click the like button more often
Yes.
to get us up there a bit. In fairness,
We
do
want to
it
be
for
the new Warrens. I want to make millions.
I'd be happy
Go.
with a few grand. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, well, that's all right. You can have a few grand. I'll have the
I'll make-
millions.
I'll make do with a fiver for now. So, right, guys, it's been fantastic as always. Overall, we got cheers for that, guys. I'm on my own
Well,
now.
if you want to watch that movie I was showing you highlights on, you can find it on YouTube.
Yes, there's
Yeah,
And
quite
it's a
really
free one.
scare the
It's a
shit
free
out of
one.
yourself.
or Tubi. I believe it's on Tubi as well.
Ah,
So
I actually got friends with Sally Kirkland from the movie when I found a copy I could buy.
apparently Perry's otherwise engaged. So
Yeah.
that's why good on him. So right. So guys, click the like button because hit the like button is what we need the most. That's what
Well, I know
everyone's liking at the moment.
if you've not already done it, Andy, I know you've been watching them. Click like, get your mates involved.
Well, you got 2 likes on tonight's one now because I just added one and there was already one there.
I think the one that's already there. I think when
It's Bella. When she heard I was on.
That was Bella. Yeah. Bella, did you click like? Bella. Wait, Bella. Did you click like for Ian? Did you? You did you? Did you? Yeah. Oh, bless her. She completely ignored Linda, but the second that she heard Ian's voice, she came to the edge of the bed and tried to get up near the laptop.
Yeah. She
I
did.
told you to get the bitches, Ian.
My animal magnetism.
I told you the fame you'd get the bitches, and you've got one.
I was going to say, I wish it works on women.
Oh, I don't know. I'm happy enough here as it is. I'm busy day tomorrow because Harry's got his first induction day.
Good luck.
How that's going to go, we don't know, because I've got a funny feeling we're going to get there and he's going to have an anxiety attack. At the moment, he wants to go.
Yay.
At the moment, he wants to, which is a huge step, because considering how bad his autism is and his anxiety, for him to say he wants to at least go and sit there and do part of the induction is a big step.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's
Who's
this week,
just walked past behind you?
me or Lynn,
You.
I don't know. I'll have to
I
have a look.
wasn't looking.
That. Have you got a curtain? Right,
I was
Bella.
going to say, yeah, there's something dark behind where you've put your head, and it seems to have a little bit of a flex to it now and again.
What, over on that side?
Where you
Yeah,
were.
the word I
That's
saw
why-
was
That's my Aussie.
the actual door behind you. But
Oh, on
I've
the
just
door.
realised it was Bella walking.
No, Bella's sat. Oh, it might have been moving back onto the bed, possibly.
Yeah.
I'll have to have a look back. But if it's that
Yeah.
door, that's the door that I said to you a couple of days ago that I saw
Yeah.
a shadow walk through.
But it just looked like someone walked past.
It could have been. I'll have to have a
Well, I
look
was
back.
looking at the other side. I was looking at the side that's nearest me on the screen.
Right. Yeah, well, that is where the door is. The side
No.
that's near you.
No.
No,
Oh, okay.
Your
the other side, away
left.
from the door.
My left.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
All that's there. Hang on. Let me.
whatever's on the wall.
Yeah. Is
There's a little bit of a flex to it because I've seen it shimmy a couple times tonight. Whether it's
Yeah,
just
that's where I think that's where I got the motion blur on. That's
yeah. What's
well, I started
the
painting the
poster?
Aussie. I started painting Aussie on the wall. I haven't got around to
No.
finishing it yet. 'Cause I'm paint. It
The-
could have been. Hang on. Oh, it's not the cat either because the cat's on the windowsill.
No, it's not Aussie
No,
either.
on the wall.
On the wall,
side of
at the
you.
side of you.
What here?
Yes.
Yeah, the old Chinese guy or whatever it is.
There, that's my poster of Chester Bennington.
Yeah, that's what appears to have been shimmying a couple of
Yeah.
times. Whether it's just with
Ah,
the
okay.
blur effect or what, I don't know.
That could be because I've got a fan literally right next to me and it's blowing it.
Ah,
Possibly.
that'll be what it is then.
Yeah.
Just drop your arm again.
Mm.
There's
Something about the height of that box and the handle.
the height of the box, but above.
Just yours.
No. Go that way. What's that above the box, halfway up?
Oh yeah, there's a little light
That's not-
point.
That's radiator on the wall.
Right.
What, you mean that bit halfway up the black wall?
Yeah.
That is my Freddy Krueger. Hold on.
Funnily enough, we've been talking about him.
Yes.
You mean this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could just see the little paler bit, and it's like, what is that?
I've got
Yeah, that'd do it.
Yeah.
no, because initially I was going to do that little hallway. I was going to do it horror themed. I was going to put fake cobwebs up and this, that, and the other. I thought I was going to get some excitement then. Thanks.
Well, you could still do it. Like I say, it could have been Bella walking past at the
There
bottom.
was
It made
at
it
one
look like
point-
movement.
When
You
you
can see
first
the
revealed
thumbnail.
the heater, when you first showed that it was the heater, there was at one point it almost looked like just above the heater,
I got you.
looking around the doorway, but literally like the level of the door handle.
But yeah, that's the coming from the bathroom into my little hall into the bedroom. That's where
Yeah,
I said when I was in the front
it's
room the
the
other day. I
same
thought it was
doorway. It's the same doorway I saw somebody walk past another time, and I commented.
Well, I
But
said
that's
that's
There's, my arms are
I barely ever get anything here like I did in like.
There is something stood in that doorway watching you.
There's possibly, it could be, what was his name? Bob that used to live here before. He lived here like 17 years and died in my front room. So he, because what happened was he used to, there's mixed opinions on him. Some loved him, some weren't so keen on him, but you get that with everyone anyway.
Yeah.
It's
gone now. Whatever it was is gone.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big animal fan. People, there's 3 or 4 houses up. There's a big dog walking field where people take the dogs to go to the toilet and things. And he'd leave his door open, and there was certain dogs that he was friends with that would literally wander in, get a treat off of him, he'd have a chat with the owner, and then they'd leave. One night, he had his door open. One of the neighbours that had a Labrador came in for its treat like it always did, and it didn't come out like it normally did. So the owner was like, well, what's going on here? He came up to the door to call the dog, and he found Bob dead in the chair. So he'd gone in, he had a routine. He'd make himself a ham sandwich and a cup of tea, and he'd always sit in the same chair, and he didn't even get to finish his sandwich, bless him.
So where to go, though? Sounds like it was quick and painless.
Yeah, by the sound of it, it was all pretty quick. And then it was literally, I think, about a month after that, a neighbour opposite passed away as well. So there's most of the people around here are like late middle-aged, elderly.
It's like my street. There's me and one other in my street that are under 70. And everybody else who's lived in this house before me has died in this house. But there's only actually Mary that comes back to visit.
Yeah, you had any activity from her recently?
No, not a thing.
You did say it'd been last time we was on live. You said it'd been quiet for a while. So, right,
stuff around.
No, and yes, while we're saying that, I'm looking at the washing and there's nothing. Because of course, the day I decided to do 4 loads of washing was the day I absolutely peed it down at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
and now it's scorching hot. I'm not in the house long enough to do any washing.
Yeah.
No, anyway, I remember the washing moving while we were watching it.
Yeah, that was weird. That was. Anyway, overall, with tonight's study case, Warren's opinions.
I do think Lorraine had a gift.
Yes.
But I do think at some point during the fame journey, money took over.
Yes. I think he had a gift, but his gift was not paranormal. His gift was
of the gab.
Gift of making money and exploiting things.
Modern day Barnum.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely a carny.
He could definitely spin the tale and, like you say, why let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah.
See, now both the Warrens were Catholic, and
which is why it's not a surprise that there were lies. Oops, that was a loud thought.
Now, Judith Penny, and I also believe their grandson has said, for Lorraine, her god was the greenback.
Yeah.
So
she was still doing interviews up until like a week and a half before she passed.
Yeah. Well, you know yourself, like some people, and you may have even done it yourself. If you feel really drawn to a place of being haunted, you're like, I really want to go in there. And they were known to be paranormal investigators while they was doing the paintings. And it's like, I've done a painting at your house. Do you mind if I have a look around? We're interested in that sort of thing. People probably do very similar nowadays. But when the ka-ching started coming in, I think that's literally what I saw.
Mammoth. People are attracted to it. I would freely admit I'd like a lot more money than I've got. Might not buy me happiness, but would buy me a better class of misery at times.
What is it? Ronnie Corbett said his dad always said, money doesn't buy you happiness, but it lets you be miserable in comfort.
Yeah.
And I've read that in his autobiography, and I absolutely love that saying.
Yeah, it is. It's true.
Fantastic saying. So,
and it's lies that you can't take it with me because I'm having pockets in my shroud.
I got a quick joke. I can't remember if it was you that told me it or not. Married couple, they've been married for 50 plus years. He's poorly. And he says, do me a favour. When I die, take all the money out of my account and put it in the coffin with me. And she's like, yeah, okay. A few weeks later, he dies. And her pal goes to the bank with her and she's like, you're not, are you? She's like, yeah, I promised I would. I promised I would. And on the day of the funeral, she's like, are you really going to do it? And she's like, I promised I would. She wrote him a check and put it in the coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent that in the chat a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. I saw that. I must admit I laughed a little bit too hard at that one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I know several people who would do exactly that as well.
But, right. No, it's been
but it was predated.
Yeah.
I think it's been a really good one today. Overall, I personally think they started out like most of us with an interest in the paranormal.
Yeah. I do think they were genuine to start with. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think, as Ian said, although we don't view it as right nowadays, back then a man's attitude was often shut up and do as you're told.
Yeah.
So that yes, I can see where them aspects come from.
At the time they got together, that would have been exactly normal.
Yeah, so I think it's about 1947, 40, or something like that. They got together. That would have been commonplace.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I even know up until recently people that their attitude was that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't think he. I want to try and be careful how I word this now. I think he saw the opportunity to get anything he wanted. I don't know what it is now because I believe Zach Baggins has got the Annabelle doll. Oh no, it's not Zach, is it? It's that other guy, Matt Rife. For people who wanted to go to the Warren Museum, I think it was $14 a person to go in. That soon adds up when you get a few people each day.
Oh, yeah. Like I say, he saw an opportunity and exploited it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that Lorraine had...
I don't know what he's like, but Elton, who's basically been looking after it and living in the house, I like his take on it that, I'm not the owner. I'm just the caretaker till decisions are made about the building.
I'll see if I can. Somebody had posted something about Matt Rife talking about all of that.
Mm-hmm. I've only seen Elton. I've not seen anything to do with the Matt guy.
Yeah, and what he wrote was along the lines of, "I can go out and essay anyone I want to now because I'm famous enough."
That's probably why I haven't seen anything about him.
But obviously, it's the internet, so you know, there's no so. You know, you can copy and paste something someone says, and if you paste it, you can easily alter it. So,
well, again, you get these people who are influencers.
Mm-hmm.
They've got millions of watches, and all they do is, oh, look at this handbag. Yeah.
No word of a lie, right?
When the cat gets fed.
I tried to
That's what you think.
I tried to sort it out for us via.
She does. You might
you-
think it's you, but it's not.
If you remember, towards the start of doing all of this, I was trying to figure it so we could do TikTok at the same time, wasn't I?
Yes.
I've literally flicked through TikTok when I was trying to sort that, and there's literally live videos of people sleeping, and there's 7, 8, 9,000 people watching them and giving them donations.
Yeah.
Why would you give
Stalker
somebody
alert.
a $10 donation to watch them sleep?
Well, there's a
Stalker
few people
alert.
I'd love to watch sleep.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
with
saying
the
nothing
fishes. The concrete
Yeah.
wells.
yeah. Right. Anyway, we had a good one this week. Joe, we've missed you, buddy.
Yeah.
So, but then again, bye now.
Your hangover's not too bad, mate.
Don't trip over this time.
Yes.
Don't
It's
hurt
like
yourself
it's
this one.
like all those films I watched as a kid with plumbers in that they never fixed the.
Oh yeah.
Insert cheesy 70s music now.
Yes.
Yeah, we all know about the plumbers and fixing washing machines. Yeah.
I've been watching it for the last 2 hours to see whether he fixes it.
All right then, guys. Been
Yep.
brilliant one this week. But overall, you think, even though they started out with good intentions, that the old greenback got in the way?
Yeah.
Money corrupts, absolutely.
Yeah.
99
Money and power corrupt. But I do feel a lot of the bad feeling is, as Linda said at the start, jealousy.
Yeah.
I didn't get my cut, ergo I'm going to slag you off, and
Yeah.
I think I should have got more. And I honestly believe that's why a lot of the bad press is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. For those that have been watching, don't forget to subscribe, and we shall see you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.